What's up guys, Kyle Russ here with HydroMind. In this video, I'm gonna show you a couple stretch tests that you can do right now that will let you know if inflexibility is holding back your surfing in the two most critical areas, paddling and pop-up, the two things you need for every single wave you catch. Cool thing about stretching is it's like the fountain of youth. It can give you performance, it can improve your mood, it's gonna really improve your performance. And in fact, if you have tight areas and you never unlock them, you will always struggle to paddle and you will always struggle to pop up. So this stuff is super simple and super effective. Let's do it right now. So much of what we do for our clients in our program is help them correct their posture. And really, posture correction could actually just be called reversing the damage done by sitting. So if you look, when people sit, the pelvis sort of tilts out, the tailbone points this way, the rounding of the lower spine, shoulders and head go forward like this. And gravity just does its damage. It happens to everyone, sitting on a couch, driving, playing on your phone, all that stuff. So the upper body stretching, the posture stuff, all connects, and it's to get you upright, some curve in your lumbar spine, head up, shoulders back, and to hold that position. So you gotta stretch the front. And almost everyone I encounter in the training has bad posture, including me. I've had to do tons of work to correct my posture over the years. So the reason this one is so important is because it affects both posture and pop-up. So when you're paddling, you gotta keep your head and chest up, right? So if it's down like this, you can always tell when a surfer is either new or they're exhausted because their head starts to go down like this. And they just struggle to get their arms out of the water because they got that forward shoulder, right? So you want to get your arms out of the water, big stroke to the back, lift it out of the water, and if your shoulders are forward like this, you got a shorter stroke length, you're really inefficient with your movement, you're fighting tight muscles as well as the resistance of the water, so opening that up helps you glide to the water a whole lot easier. But also, keeping your head and chest high creates space for you to get your feet underneath you in a pop-up. So if you have bad posture and your chest stays down and you're trying to pop up, there's no room for your feet to get under. But if you're up, easy, makes it so much easier. So it matters a ton. So I'll show you the test for that right now. All right, the test for this one is standing up against the wall. So put your heels up against the wall, put your back up against the wall, head against the wall, and then lift your arms up 90 degrees. And can you touch them against the wall while your back, your shoulder blades stay pressed like this? And if not, then you got a major posture issue. So head, shoulder blades, and arms pressed up against the wall. Can you keep it there and hold it? If not, you're gonna have some correction to do. Luckily, the stretches are super easy. So there's two stretches that stretch both the upper pack and lower pack and then into your arms as well too, which helps a lot with that back part of your stroke. So first one is 90 degrees, put it against the wall, and you don't wanna push with the arm, you wanna turn your body away from it. And it stretches, you can really feel it like from the shoulder all the way down into here. And the second one is arms straight out the back. You'll feel it stretch in a little bit different way. It starts to come down a little deeper. And you obviously want to do both sides. So that can and should be done every single day. If you're doing it before exercise, you don't want to do long holding stretches. So one thing you can do is just pulse into it while you breathe. Like that. All right, testing for the pop-up. The pop-up is such a deep position. It's like a low lunge. You gotta get your legs right under you before you're standing. So you gotta have a lot of lower body flexibility. So the first one is, can you do a deep squat? Like your hamstrings completely covering your calves, like this. Can you get that deep? If not, you're gonna need to do some stretching. The second one is a lunge. So how deep can you get your lunge as well? Can you get your hamstring covering your calf? Like that. And even though you pop up one way, 1 foot forward all the time, still gotta test both sides because you gotta have flexibility in a balance. Because if you don't, it'll create imbalances and weaknesses and increase the chance of injury. So if you can't do either of those, that lunge one I just showed you, that's the stretch for that one. There's a little bit of way to make it a little more effective. So you want to go all the way down so it's covering, but also, so I'm stretching this side, I can lift this arm and pull it over my head and then go deeper. And it stretches really well. So if you can't get your knee all the way over your toes like that, you can just start here. Another good way is you can elevate your front foot on something. But other than that, you can just progress your way through. And again, these stretches can and should be done every day. If you're doing before exercise or surfing, do it in a pulsing motion. Oh yeah, so the second one for the low squat. So the squat, it's more of like the glute, right? So really cool way to do this one is you take one leg, I'll start with the right leg, bring it underneath, take my left leg over top, so my knee is like this, then you hug your knee. Now I like to pull it more across, so my right leg is going across my body and put my head down. And you really, really feel it in there. That will improve the depth of your squat, but you gotta do both sides, like that. So I always tell everyone, stretching is like the fountain of youth, and it's so important. It's the very first thing we address with everyone we work with. We go through a whole head to toe series of stretch testing. So you do all of them, and it's meant to expose your tight spots and imbalances, but then give you a customized stretch list so you know exactly what you need to do. And I know if you are super, super tight in your hips or any of these things that we talked about, the stretch testing will expose that. But it's really a good thing. If you're super tight right now, that's actually good because you can look forward to having one of the biggest leaps in progression of your whole life. Because when you unlock problem areas, it improves performance, it improves mood, it decreases the chance of injury. And I always tell people, if you find a really tight problem area, it's like finding a gold mine. You still got to mine the gold, but you know exactly where it is. So knowing the right stretch to unlock it, like I've just showed you here as an example, is the path to do that. And stretching, like I said, it's like the fountain of youth. We also teach something I call exercise priority. So everyone we work with, super busy. People got jobs, kids, this, that, like everyone's got busy lives, right? So there's some days where you don't have time to do a full workout. So I give them a list of what their exercise priority is. At the top of everyone's list is stretching. If you only have time, like 5 minutes, do your stretches and that's it, and forget your workouts, and you can know you did enough to improve your performance, your health, longevity, all that stuff. Stretching is number one. And I never miss it. I stretch minimum twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, and I never regret it. I never say, damn, I wish I didn't take that time to stretch. It always feels better. And like I said, I think the biggest thing for me is it improves my mood, but again, it's turned back the clock. I let my flexibility go. So here's how it happened. I was always kind of a star athlete. I was really just good at sports, right? And I had horrible flexibility. I could never touch my toes. I'd never touched my toes ever growing up. And my coaches would tell me like, that's a huge mistake. You have to work on that. You're gonna get injured. But I was like just out of the box a good athlete, so I was able to perform at a really high level. So I'm like, no, I don't. I don't have to do that because clearly you're wrong because I'm killing it. And then when I got into my 20s, I started getting back injuries and hip injuries. And it was actually especially skateboarding and snowboarding. I had just like one bail and I'd throw up my back and I'd be in so much pain. I thought my best days were behind me in my early 20s. So out of necessity, I started stretching. At first, I didn't know any stretches. I just worked on trying to touch my toes. And it took me like 5 days of doing it constantly every day. And I was finally able to get from here to touch my toes. And now I'm one of the most flexible people I know. I don't really know that many people that stretch, to be honest with you. But it's been a maybe 13-year journey of really, really hardcore stretching. And it has changed my life. So I'm 38. My back's healthier than ever. All my muscles are stronger, more flexible. I almost never get injured. And I feel absolutely incredible. Like if I was to compare myself to my unflexible kid self, who I thought was a great athlete, I would absolutely crush myself at 38. The only thing I was probably a little bit faster back then, but everything else, I'd smoke myself. So I want that for you as well too. I want you to get older and feel better and better and better and better. And that unlocking all this stuff is the way to do it. And stretching is it's a lifelong practice, and that's the thing, you gotta practice it every single day. So I'll give you 2 examples of how I stretch. 3. So 1, to wake up, don't do it every day, sometimes I'm just too busy, but always before exercise, the pulsing ones, and then just about always evening while I watch TV. So my wife's up on the couch, I'm on the floor and just watching TV, and I do my stretches. And that's when I do long holding stretches where I'm really trying to lengthen the muscles rather than just warm them up. So just a quick tip, long hold stretching is dangerous to do before exercise. Increases the chances of injury. That's why we do the pulsing stretches. I won't explain the science behind that because it's very complicated, but it's true. So just remember that. So if you want the full stretch testing and all the exercises that go along with it, all the lifestyle practices that I teach in my Water Elite program, below this video in the description, there's a link. The link goes to a video. It explains our entire process, step by step, exactly how we do this for surfers and why our results are so reliable. And if it really gets you interested, It'll also explain to you how you can get involved in our training if you choose to do so. And I really hope you do. I'd love to have you in our group. So yeah, hopefully I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks a lot for watching this video.